Okay, this is real talk. Raising a child as a Filipina here in Russia will absolutely surprise you, and this is not the one that you are expecting. And when you're married to a Russian guy, the parenting difference can be really surprising. So today I'm sharing what it's really like raising a 5-year-old daughter here when it comes to language, food, school, discipline, and safety, and also a culture shock that people always ask me about.
When my days end, I might just fall in love. I know the DJ and I love this song. Me and you and the night feel so young.
Всім привіт! I'm a Filipina here in Russia, married to a Russian guy, and I have 5-year-old daughter. If you watched my last video about what Filipinos get wrong about Russia, this time it's more on a mom version. And please let me know where you're watching from, because I really love reading all your comments, and especially, different opinions about Russia. Yeah, exciting. By the end of this video, you will understand how parenting styles differ here, what Russian kindergarten is really like, what our daughter eats and speaks, and what really surprises me about independence and daily life here in Russia. Let's start with the biggest one, which is language. So people always ask me, does your daughter speak Tagalog, Bisaya, which is our dialect in the Philippines, Russian, and or English? At home, we mostly speak English since she was a baby. That has been our main language. I don't really use my dialect, Bisaya, much at home. Sometimes I do feel a little guilty. Yes, of course, but like, am I doing enough for her Filipino side? But when I think about it, she still understands her roots in her own way. She actually loves rice, which is 100% proven Filipino, very Filipino. She asks for pandesal. If you don't know what is pandesal, that's a very common bread in the Philippines. And I'm sure everybody loves it in the Philippines. And every now and then, she wants Jollibee style fried chicken. So outside, of course, it's Russian. School, teachers, kids, everything. Sometimes she'll even say Russian phrases. So seriously, and I'm like, wow, she's really becoming a little Russian boss. If you're in a mixed family too, I'd love to know, how do you handle language in your home? Next one is kindergarten here in Russia. And this one is actually surprising, and you might be very interested about it. The routine here feels very structured but also very organized. Kids are encouraged to be independent early, like changing shoes by themselves, lining up, and following routines without much help. Even outdoor time is normal, even when it's cold, as long as it's not extreme weather. Now, this is the part people always ask about: discipline. Honestly, my husband and I are always on the same page when it comes to parenting. We are not overly strict, but we do believe in rules and consistency. For example, after playing, she needs to clean up her toys. Before bedtime, she already knows the routine: clean up, get ready, and sleep at a set time. She's only 5, but she already knows how to fold her clothes and organize her things. For us, it's not about being strict. There is no difference when it comes to Russian parents, Russian people. No difference, I'm sure. Everybody have this parenting instinct what's good for your kid, what's the best for your kid. It doesn't mean American parents are different. Maybe, yeah, maybe because of the culture differences. But as I said, Anton and I have the same approach when it comes raising our kid, and that's a very good thing. He is not the only one who is strict. I also am strict. So food in Russia was another big culture shock for me. I guess everyone who came to Russia is for sure shocked when it comes to food. I for myself is shocked because we have different food, of course, in the Philippines, and Russian food is very different when it comes to soup, porridge, dairy, sour cream, and everything. Actually, everything about Russian food is completely different to my country, the Philippines. Compared to Filipino food, we always have rice, as in every meal. Rice, adobo, sinigang, and pancit. It's a different world. At first, I was like, why does everything taste like sour cream? It's part of life here. But over time, our daughter adopted both cuisines, luckily, which is very interesting for me as a mom because my daughter is eating two culture Russian food and Filipino food. And by the way, she both love Russian and Filipino foods. Now let's talk about safety and daily life here. Of course, I can only speak based on my life experience here in Russia. If you have different experience, it's yours. I'm only sharing what I've experienced. Okay, so please don't bash me in the comments because other people bash me in the comments about this is not true, blah blah blah. Well, this is true because this is how I experience it. And again, if you don't have the same experiences, you can still comment, so be it, but just don't bash me. Russia is a big country. I'm sure everybody knows that. It's aware. I mean, very obvious, right? Like, come on, look at in the map. It's very big. And every place is different. So what I personally see is moms with strollers walking everywhere, kids playing in parks, even during winter. It's cold, but still people are out. People cannot live without doing gulyat, walk. With the right clothing, of course, children are still outside, still active, still playing. Parks are big, and in our experience, they are clean and very, very family friendly. So now let's do a quick rapid fire. What people assume versus the reality. So the assumptions. One of the assumptions is kids are always cold in here, but in reality, they are properly dressed and still go outside. Even months-old babies. I see moms who are always out, even if it's winter, but still the kid is properly dressed, of course. They just want a fresh air for their kid. That's the reality. It doesn't mean it's because it's winter, everybody should just stay home. No, everybody wants a fresh air. Everybody wants to walk from time to time. So that's the reality here. Another assumption, especially for my kid, is that Stacy will lose the Filipino identity here. You are wrong because in reality, it depends on what you teach at home to your kid. I teach Stacy culture, Filipino culture. I feed Stacy Filipino foods from time to time. I always talk to my family through particular social media. We always do a video call, and it's a big help for Stacy because she don't forget her family in the Philippines. Another assumption, Russian parenting is cold. Come on. Are you sure about that? Because in reality, it's not cold. You may not know what's the proper meaning of being cold, okay? Because as how I see it, parents here, they focus on structured and independence for their kid. It's not being cold, they don't neglect their kid or they don't spoil the kid. Yes, they don't spoil the kid because They want the best for their kid as soon as their kid grown up. That's why they're teaching the kids like since they're young. They train them to be independent, to learn on your own, something like that. But they don't ignore the kid. They watch, they correct. They just want the best for the kid in a way that they can be independent when they grow up. So some of the assumptions are completely wrong because how I see it, it's actually good. I'm not saying again that Russia or Russian people are perfect or all of them are nice. Obviously, there are other people who are bad. It's everywhere. Bad people are everywhere. But as I'm saying, based on only my experience here and how I see it, parents, especially parents, they are not cold. Okay? They just want the best for their kid to be independent because real life battle is when you're adult, right? So again, assumptions are wrong. Okay, now what I've learned about living here in Russia is that raising a child here is not easy. Even if we've only been here for more than a year, with all those times, it was not an easy journey for me because of all the errands, everything, especially the language that Russians are very Russians. They don't speak English at all. So everything is hard, to be honest, as a mom, as a Filipino mom here, and for my kid as well. I can see how she's struggling. But anyway, she's doing very well. She's coping up the best way she can. She's speaking in Russian slowly, but that is why we need to have a tutor for her so that she will be able to read. At her age, she can read supposedly in Russian because, yeah, she's actually late when it comes to that. But in English, she's very good. It's just only in Russian language. So, if you enjoy this honest talk, mom, please like my video, subscribe, and might as well share it. It really helps growing my channel and to be able to share to you a lot more of my experience here as a Filipino mom here in Russia. And I really want to hear from you. What parenting difference that really surprised you the most in your country or in a family? Please comment down because I read all the comments in my videos and I'm interested. So, thank you for listening and hopefully I can read some of your comments. Please do comment. До свидания. Пока-пока. See you in the next one.